Apple has come under fire for its new iPad Pro advert. The ad features a huge hydraulic press crushing a mountain of cultural objects and has been criticized as the destruction of the human experience. If you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like.
And we watch the melting snow. Show us summer, fall, spring, all the things you do. Give me a reason to build my world around you. Come and follow rainbows.
I like it.
You
Is
know,
that controversial? I like it.
I like it too, but only because I sort of feel it's accurate. It's sort of like big tech crushing human existence into a small compact package. Everything's binary, 1010, no choices in life. I don't know, maybe.
It's the future.
Well, let's find out more about this from the host of the podcast Game for Anything, Angharad Yeo. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio this morning. Backlash, fair enough? What do you reckon?
Well, personally, I understand where the backlash is coming from. There has been a lot of talk as AI comes up on the rise, particularly in creative fields. People are worried about AI taking over, losing jobs, and also that creativity being literally crushed by the machine. However, I don't see this particular ad as kind of that read. I see it as a riff on the hydraulic press genre, which is which is exciting in, I would say, like internet culture, in meme culture. You know, we've all seen those videos of hydraulic presses crushing things and people kind of rating them, dancing like the object that's being crushed. So in that context, in a more internet jokey context, I think it's quite fun. Yeah. But there's always multiple ways to read things, and everyone's favourite British soft romantic actor Hugh Grant did go on X and say that the destruction of the human experience, courtesy of Silicon Valley. So it does have some people upset.
It's a bit doomsday-ish, isn't it, Hugh?
Yes, I do think so. I think, you know, if you read it in the context of hydraulic presses, which seems like a weird kind of prerequisite of knowledge to understand this ad. It's quite fun and it makes a lot of sense. But if you're looking at it from the angle of just AI and what that is currently doing to creative industries and art, then it does take on a very, very different mouthfeel.
Let's talk about AI, because one of the stories we've been speaking about this morning is these, well, not abandonment, but the fact that OpenAI doesn't have its team which is trying to prevent artificial intelligence from becoming malevolent, which I don't think anyone really is rooting for. So, I mean, what's your view on this? Is this something we should be concerned about?
I do think so. So basically what has happened is their super alignment team, which, as you said, was basically there for safety and to oversee the development of AI technology within OpenAI. They've more or less been dissolved. And the reason for that sounds like it's both interpersonal tensions between the people on the team and kind of the wider company, and also just a lack of resources. So it more or less sounds like they've been squeezed out, and now that role is being more integrated into OpenAI's kind of broader teams, rather than having a more separate entity kind of overseeing what they're doing. And that's a concern because obviously you take away the kind of independent review, as it were, then you no longer have a voice who's kind of able to say, hey, what you guys are doing isn't great. You're more having OpenAI oversee itself a little bit more.
Is this Sam Altman getting his revenge for the people who tried to kick him out?
Look, who can say? So
I'm getting straight into it.
Two of the major levers were co-founder and chief scientist Ayla Sutskever, who was kind of involved in the attempted ousting of Sam Altman, and Jan Leike, who also was another veteran at OpenAI. So these are, you know, well-established people in the company. And when you also look at the fact that OpenAI kind of began as this altruistic, non-profit, we're just going to make AI for the good of humanity sort of company. And then as they realized just how lucrative it is, that really shifted. It does raise that question of, well, is this in the interest of, you know, continuing a lucrative company rather than purely a technological experiment in AI?
Finally, Rad, Netflix. This is a trend that's happened elsewhere where you pay for a product, so you don't want ads, but then suddenly you have an option to pay even more not to have ads, or you can pay less and have ads.
Yeah.
It's just the creeping of advertisements.
Yeah. So Netflix announced this several months ago, where they were going to introduce a tier which had ads. They call it ad supported. So you still pay money, but then you also get ads. And when this happened, a lot of people were very upset because they're like, that's not what I pay you money for. That's not what Netflix has always been. But they have just announced that their ad tier has reached 40 million subscribers globally, which is up from 23 million in January. And more than 40% of new subscribers in areas that support this ad-supported tier are coming to the ad-supported version.
Wow, okay. So they're not losing people, they're actually gaining more people.
Yeah,
Great.
exactly.
Okay, well, it works for them then.